Hello, and welcome to another episode of Home Cooks. In this episode, we will be going over how to make the perfect, most beautiful espresso with the Breville Barista. Woo! Yeah! Okay, so if you are anything like me, you may have struggled to get to the espresso range on your beautiful Breville Barista Express. Maybe you bought it and then you just couldn't figure it out. To be totally truthful, we had this machine for about 6 months and we were not getting into espresso zone and we were not getting properly caffeinated. So I am here to teach you the lessons that we learned so that I can share this knowledge so that you can be properly caffeinated and enjoy all the beauty that is this machine, because it's a little bit more complex than you might think when you first get it. So here we go. So the first step that you're going to want to look at if your espresso pressure is not getting into the espresso range is your grind size. Now, a lot of you may have noticed the grind size here along the side of the machine, and that can easily be adjusted going from coarse to fine. But what you might not know is if you're still unable to get to espresso zone and you have this side all the way on fine and it's still not getting you to your espresso range, then there's actually another place to adjust the grinder right here at the top of the machine. So what you're gonna do is turn to unlock it, lift it up, and then as you can see here, there is another grinder that you can adjust within the machine. So we can twist this open. And from here, we can adjust this by removing this metal part here. And then you can adjust the grinder here. You can see the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. I have mine set at 4, but once you remove that metal piece, you can twist this from fine, the 1 through 3, those are fine, and then you can move to the coarser options. But right now I have mine set at 4, so you can give that a go. But the grind size will depend on your machine and the beans that you use. So this has worked for us, grind size 4, and then you can have that set there. So then once you adjust that, put it back in your machine, and once you hear the click, you've snapped that closed. So if your espresso pressure is too high, then you're going to want to make it less fine, more coarse. And if your espresso pressure is low and you're not getting up into that espresso range, then you're going to want to make it finer. So that is what they mean by dialing in espresso. So once you've dialed in this middle part here, then you're going to come to the side of the machine. And this part is easier to adjust. And the same thing goes. So if the espresso zone gets too high of pressure, then you're going to want to make it more coarse. And if the espresso zone is too low and it's not getting up to espresso range, then you're going to want to make it finer. So this is going to depend on the type of beans you have and how old they are and a lot of different factors like that. So for now we have our grind size of this top grinder on 4, and the side we're going to start with on 6. Okay, so those are our grind sizes. Once you have adjusted your grind size, now we are going to weigh our beans. So a recommendation is to get fresh beans. Beans from your local roaster will be optimal because they'll just be that really nice fresh quality. So we have local Verve beans today. from Santa Cruz, California, and excited to be drinking this espresso. It is just delicious. So pick out your beans, make sure they're relatively fresh. They're gonna get you the best espresso brew possible. And then you're gonna go ahead and weigh your beans. So this will not give you an exact 18 grams when you put your portafilter down here. So just to get the coffee extra to the right place, I like to weigh my beans. So I got this scale here. I got it pretty cheap on Amazon, and it will tell me exactly how many grams are there. So I have the scale zeroed out right now, and I'm going to put 18 grams in here. And now we are going to put the 18 up here into the grinder. I'm going to put this plastic piece on the portafilter that came with the Breville, and that's so that we don't get any mess, we don't get any beans spilling over. And turn the machine on first of all, and let's grind her up. And now what we're gonna do is take this fun little diddly-do, this fun little tool, and we are just going to move that espresso around just to let it breathe and make sure that all of that espresso is going to be evenly distributed through our espresso shot. So these are pretty cheap tools, the scale and this little gadget right here. The name is slipping me. So they're pretty cheap tools, but they'll add a lot to your espresso experience. And now we get the tamper, and we are just gonna press down. Just tamp it down. Not too tight, but just kind of give it a little tamp. Beautiful. And now she's ready to brew. So for the final step, you are going to remove this plastic piece here, and you are going to put the portafilter and lock her into the machine. And then, since we measured 18 grams, this is going to be a double shot. So put your cup under, make sure there's water in the tank, and press the double shot button. And let her brew. So as you can see, this cup of coffee has a beautiful crema at the top there. And this is just a gorgeous cup of espresso. It wasn't perfectly in the middle of espresso range. So what I would do if I made a second cup of coffee is I would adjust this side of the grind size and just make it a little bit finer. So I would make it, maybe it's at 6 right now, and I would probably put it to 5 and then test out what that means. So that's really what dialing espresso means. You kind of have to adjust after you make a cup, but this cup still looks just gorgeous and beautiful. You can see the crema there. So now what I can do with this is I could make an Americano by adding some water from under here and then putting this on the top of it, or make a latte, make a shaken iced coffee. So you can just do so much with this. But for now, I'm just going to give her a little taste. Delicious. Hey Josie, you want to try this espresso?
Oh, do I?
Mi espresso?
No, you stole my joke. I was gonna say it's not you espresso, but I guess I'll just try it.
I've been depressed though, so we gotta get some espresso. Is that mi espresso?
Killed it once again. Well, I guess we're gonna zip on out of here on this caffeine bump.
Let's go. Yum.
Thanks for coming by Home Cooks.
Thank you.